Yeah, it's like with this list, I don't know. I feel like this was much more easier to make than a Jay-Z list. I'm gonna be real with you.
I think it's a lot easier with Nas.
Yeah, like Jay got them songs though, but Nas, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I feel like Nas has like 20 songs that can be top five though. You know what I'm saying?
basically.
Shit. All this hype and that Primo album coming, I think later on this year.
Mm, hopefully, end of the year.
Right. That shit better be good.
Uno, what up? Watching Raw right now.
You said what?
I'm talking to Hey Luna.
Uh, I was actually going to do another review sometime after I finish up this one. They're going to do that donation and shit. Ooh. Oh no, that's old for you. Never mind. Shit. What's good, niggas in the chat? What's up, Sam? Justin Luna. A lot of Nas family. Share this video. Okay, subscribers coming up. Almost to 2K. Okay. Yo, Questlove, that Questlove interview talk about Princess discography. I'm just like, when was the last good Roots album and shit?
Exactly. Okay, I'll take 90s Prince any day over the group shit, man.
You said what?
I'll take 90s Prince any day over the Roots. They got I don't they haven't had a great album in years.
Right. Granted, like Prince didn't always make them perfect shit post 88, 89, but the Roots, come on, man. Like that Cousins, Don't Shoot My Cousin album, they didn't release shit right after that. They too busy on Jimmy Fallon's dick, man. And mind you, you bit a whole Prince sound with the whole Soul Crazy and shit. Let's keep it real. So Supreme Clientele comes out this Friday. I don't know about that one. I'm gonna be real with you.
22 tracks, we'll see how they sound.
I don't know. Especially that last album he put out like I think 2 years ago. I was not really feeling that one too much.
Set the tone. I like set the tone. I thought it was solid. This is Ghost. I don't expect nothing different from Ghost. He's the most consistent and will, you know,
Set the
give
tone.
it.
That's that recent song he put out with that like.
The last album he put out.
Oh yeah, yes. I don't know.
Metaphysics. That's the new thing.
That's like the first Ghost album I just did not like. Honestly, believe it or not. I don't know. It just something didn't really scream hit for me. I don't know.
See.
But it's just that rap promoted single. It just sounds too much like Mighty Healthy.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm not mad about that, but I'm just like,
But
like
he did say that there's gonna be like some of these beats he picked out are like 17 years old. So if they sound like something he would have did, that's because the beats are old.
which I don't mind the old beats. I really don't mind like old beats and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
I don't want it to sound too much like the. I don't want it to bank on nostalgia. That's the right word for it.
But what do you expect him to do? Drill rap?
No, no, no.
So what? I don't get it.
I'm just saying this. It's like I get like I get what he's trying to do with it, you know, to that throwback kind of feel, which I don't mind the sound, but it's just like I don't want it to be like certain songs to be a Nutmeg 2 or 1 2 or Sheshella Ghost 2, if that makes sense.
I don't know. I ain't see the track list. I don't know what he got on there.
Uh, and granted, I like the Mighty Healthy song. I love that song, but it's never really been one of my favorites from Supreme Clientele, if that makes sense either. But it's the first single, so I'm not going to judge too much yet. Because maybe this album might be good. You never know. Because this year has not been that bad with rap. A lot of dope shit came out this year so far. Now, Erica Badu's album, that's the one
That's
I'm
the
with.
one.
That's gonna be, that's the one. Especially
Alchemist. Yeah,
Alchemist. Ooh,
Alchemist got like four more albums dropping this year.
right.
Yeah, we
What's up, Jerry? A lot of people are dissing that Cardi B song, talking about, oh, I don't like. I mean, this is the most rapping she's done in a minute. Y'all don't like this
exactly.
shit. Get the fuck out of here.
This is the way you bridge the young generation with the old. I love it.
I love that version of Imaginary Plays. I was bumping that shit all fucking weekend.
And she's the reason why the song is in the top 40 for the first time ever. So
Exactly.
that's a good thing.
And put that with the fact that Memphis also said that Jay's working on a new album too. Come on.
They've been saying that though. He been saying that for years.
I feel like it's much more closer coming up soon. I don't know.
Worry about your own album, Bleak. You got a good album for once. You worried about J for it.
I still have
Promote
not
your
heard.
own album.
I still have not heard that Bleak album, yo.
So promote your own album. This nigga has dropped like one or two singles and that's it. Like worry about your own album.
I'm gonna listen to that album probably sometime this week. I'm gonna definitely listen to that. 'Cause you did say it was a good album too, so I'm just like, let me check it out.
I'm still shocked.
Let's go Meek. Bleak. I was gonna say Meek. All right, might start this shit. Yeah, I'm ready to start whenever you are. What's up, you two? How y'all doing? It's your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy trying to building with me.
Bro.
What's up? What's up? What's up? This was kind of like a video I've been playing for a couple of weeks and everything like that too. We're actually gonna do top 15 Nas songs. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while since we did a top something, so I'm just like, let's do it with Nasty Nas, Nas Escobar, whatever you want to call him, and everything like that. We're gonna do from 15 to 1. I think the Jay-Z song we did top 10. I decided to do top 15 for this one because I don't know, man. Nas is just he has this shit. Even the recent albums and stuff like that too. I kind of threw a little something here. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get this shit started. So my number 15 comes from Godson. It's gonna be Dance and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Kind of starting off this segment with somber tone. Cause you gotta remember, he did this song and album when his mom's was dying. I think she had like
Mhm.
breast cancer or some shit. Yeah. And this is actually my favorite song on the album, believe it or not. It was the last song on the album. Wait, no, it was the second to last song. I never cared for that Heaven track. I don't know that Heaven track. I never cared for that like that. Like Godson was a great album, but it was some songs looking back. I'm just like the fucking one with Khalees, the one with that Thugs Mansion that song, which I never fucking loved, in my opinion. But that's another story for a different day. Um, but yeah, Dance definitely was one of my favorites on this album and everything like that too. Very somber tone. one of the few Nas songs I can actually tolerate him singing too, because him singing, I'm just like, eh. But yeah, this is my number 15.
Number 15 for me is the Firm collab on It Was Written, Affirmative Action,
Ooh,
classic, classic collab. This was like the first incarnation of the Firm and having, the OG lineup with Mega, not Nature. I love the OG lineup. We gotta remember that. It was Core Mega was there before Nature. This is the OG lineup. AZ, Foxy, Mega, Nas first killed it. On my mind, it seemed through your design like blind fury. I found Julie sipping on crushed grapes. We lost papes. Loved his verse on that. I think he killed it. The beat, track masters, probably they needed a video for this. Definitely could have been a single. It was definitely being played on the radio when it was written dropped, and yeah, I loved it, man. It's always been one of my favorite Nas tracks.
definitely, definitely. Affirmative action. I think that was so close to making my list too, but I was like, I don't want. I didn't want to put too many songs from certain albums like on this list and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man. That Firm album, I'm not gonna hold you. It kind of grew on me a little bit, a little bit. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
good.
So if I do a re-review on that album, would you want to do one? No,
No,
nah.
I already said what I had to say about.
Well, I won't do a re-review. I'll say maybe why I felt like it grew on me. Like, yeah. But anyway. But one thing about that affirmative action song and stuff like that, would you really call that? Cause I seen a comment somebody made. Would you call it the only true Firm song since that after that song Cormier got dropped for Nature and shit like that too? I know people have their feelings on
Yeah, but
Nature.
they had the reunion on King's Disease.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking that reunion was dope and shit like that too. But
Mhm.
you know how niggas be and shit like that. They always want to be all Pacific and analyze shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
a lot of people still didn't like some of them Nas recent albums, which I fucking don't understand and
Right.
shit. You know what I'm saying? But
They need a new album though.
they do. And
And
I want like it to be strictly like Queensbridge, like New York. I don't want if they do a new. I don't want no
no Drake.
not like no contemporary producers. I wanted to keep it like in-house Queens. Maybe an Alchemist beat, maybe Alchemist, maybe a Primo here and there though. But
Right.
yeah, I don't want to see no Ninth Wonder.
Hit Boy.
No, you know what? I might not want to see no Hit Boy either. To be real with you, not those great producers. But it's just like I wanted to keep that feel.
You wanted all East Coast. Buck Wild, Easy LP,
Yeah, I mean you can say that. You can probably say that. You
Pete
know,
Rock.
yeah, maybe Pete. Definitely Pete. Well, cause him and Nas don't fuck with each other like that.
Well,
So
Pete got some issues, man. CO Smooth don't talk to you. Nas don't talk to you.
nah, Theo Smooth, man, that's a whole different. Nah, he just
But we,
going.
we never heard we never heard Foxy over a Pete Rock track. We need Foxy on that.
Yeah, we never did.
Yeah.
That would be a dope
He
collab
worked
for
with everybody else. He worked with AZ, Nas. I don't know about Mega, but you
hell.
know,
Pete even worked with Jay Z,
right.
but
Yeah.
yeah, man. Cool, okay. Oh, after this list is done, I want to ask your thoughts on that whole Rashad Smith interview
Oh
too.
God.
Speaking of, because Sim said track masters, I was just like, I actually saw the whole interview, and I definitely want to
Yeah.
get on that, but we can wait till after this list is over.
Yeah.
Number 14 is Moments. This one I want to say this was from King's Disease 2. Yes, I have post 90s Nas here. I have post like 20 teens Nas. Like I said, this not just 90s up to Godson Nas. I know my shit too. So I always love when Nas does these like reminiscing kind of tracks. I always loved it. You know what I'm saying? And this is definitely one of those ones that definitely have a contemporary view. It's talking about the great days of hip hop, golden age of hip hop and stuff like that too. I love the beat to it. Because people want to say, no, this is a bad beat picker, but he dropped six dope albums in like 3 years, 2 3 years. I want to say that, and boom, all those productions and shit was amazing. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites from Latin Nas.
All right. Well, 14 is Rewind from Stillmatic. And I always loved the storytelling, the beat, and him just doing a storytelling track in reverse, and it's very visual, and he's saying lines like, screaming, shoot, don't please, I put back my fist back on my hip, like a VCR rewinding a hit. He put his hands he put his hands back on his bitch. My caravan doors open up. I jumped back in the van and closed them shut. So it's in reverse. He's telling the story, and again, it's not another innovative song that Nas did on that classic Stillmatic album, and it was very short, but I loved it. I loved how he did the whole scenario, and doing everything in reverse.
Definitely. Okay, sorry about that. Definitely a dope pick right there. Number 13 for me, I gotta go with Silent Murder. Now, I know a lot of people might be saying they never probably heard this song before. This is on It Was Written, but it's actually on the European version of It Was Written, the version that I got. Just throwing that shit out there. And this was definitely a banging track right here too. It uses the a soul. I want to say it used a soul for real sample and some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what sample it is though, but you guys can look it up. Definitely has that Nas Escobar vibe to it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I really wish. I know he probably this. I'm not going to say this is radio friendly and shit like that too, but I definitely really wish it was probably like a B side or something. This was actually produced by Live Squad, which you guys should know. That was affiliated with Stretch, with the Stretch that was rolling with Tupac and stuff like that. He did some work with Nas around this time too. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Stretch, by the way. Um, yeah. So this one was definitely a very dope song. Like I said, it's on. It Was Written, but it's on the European version of It Was Written. So
All right, number 13 is Represent from Illmatic, produced by Premier. Always been one of my favorite tracks from Illmatic. You had the homeboys on the chorus, Represent, fire, beat, and you have Nas saying, uh, the type of nigga who be pissing in your elevator. Somehow the rap game reminds me of the crack game. You can sport valleys and gazelles with black creams. Classic joint. Um, Primo did this thing on that album, man. Having, joints like Represent and New York State of Mind, Memory Lane, just a classic joint.
definitely, yeah, man. Hell, even Jay sampled that shit. Represent, if I'm not mistaken, for where I'm from. All right. Number 12. This is another Latin Nas song. Legit. You know what I'm saying? Now, anybody that samples the five heartbeats brilliantly like that definitely deserves a mention and shit like that. And the way how Hit Boy, first of all, the way how Hit Boy flipped that sample with Eddie Kane's verse, like, oh, then he just looped that shit.
Right.
Is there a house in the heart tonight? I'm just like that. I'm not gonna hold. That might be one of my favorite hip hop beats of all time, in my opinion. Like that beat, I wish niggas would freestyle. And that's the thing though with these niggas, like they always pick the same beats to freestyle to. That can be a perfect shit to freestyle to. But whatever. That's on King's Disease 3, which is probably my favorite King's Disease out of all of them and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Um, Very, very, very dope song. Nas is talking about looking back at his career, talking about how he's glad he's doing legit. You know, he got a successful label. He's doing all these business ventures and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Free from Khalees. You know how that shit goes. So yeah.
This one is an underrated joint. Drunk by Myself from the Lost Tapes,
Ooh.
Volume One. Originally, it was gonna be part of the double album I Am Nostradamus. We know about that album. It got leaked to the streets, but this is always, Nas talking. He had some issues going on in this song, and he turned to the bottle and he said, my wife's tired of fucking me. Life tries ducking me. Luckily, I found him just at the right time. Mac in my right arm, tequila bottle in my left arm, like Christy on, watching my life go. So, he gets behind the car, he's driving, he's drunk as fuck. There's just a lot of things going on in the song, and he felt like the liquor would, be his answer to his problems. And I loved it. Beat was fire. The piano's on it. You know, just underrated Nas joint.
Definitely. Um, Ten Golf, he said Thunder was also yeah, Thunder is also a great freestyle beat. Yeah, man. But you know niggas wanna rap over drill, freestyle over drill shit, these Walmart type beats and shit like that too. I love shook ones, but if I hear a motherfucker rhyme over shook ones one more fucking time, that's like going to in a Showtime at the Apollo and singing Luther Vandross "A House Is Not a Home" over and over. Think y'all gonna do something different and shit. But yeah, man, dope, 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 dope. Oh, I didn't see Roman. What's up, Roman? I didn't see you up here. What's up, bro? He said he's on a cruise. Hope you're safe for that cruise. Number 11. This might be in a lot of people's top 10.
Mm.
I'm kind of mad to myself. It's not in my top 10, but I fuck it. It's "Life's a Bitch" with AZ from Illmatic. Yes, we actually have an Illmatic placement and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Got a few more Illmatic placements, but I'm not shut on that. When it comes to first appearances on wax, guest appearances that stole the show, um, AZ's "Life's a Bitch" verse. I mean, that might be one of the greatest debuts on wax in his hip hop history and everything. Not Nas killed it. I loved his verse, but AZ, man, man, that verse was crazy. And the fact that they sampled the Gap Band and they made that shit more New York with the drum. I think they put the it's a certain drum. I don't want to say the drum break they use, but it's a very famous drum break. I think they use a same drum break. I think, but yeah, that's my number 11.
Yeah, number 11 for me was Realest Nigga Alive.
Mm.
That was like a controversial song from Godson where he's, talking about the beef with Biggie. And back then we didn't even know about no beef with Biggie. We heard talk about his skit on Cuban Link. Ghost was referring to that, and niggas biting album covers, but it wasn't a big, drawn out beef like how Pac and Biggie was. So they had their issues, and they kept it on the raps, and uh it was fire. Again, the beat was fire. The lyrics. I seen Nas did a show at Webster Hall right before the album came out for Godson, and he actually did the song at Webster Hall, and it was bananas. You know what I'm saying? He had the Bravehearts there with him, and you know, it was crazy. It was definitely a crazy track that nobody expected. You know, and when he said, y'all don't know about my Biggie wars. Who you thought kicking the door was for? But that's my heart. Y'all still tripping off the jigger shit. Real niggas listen up, and I'm gonna tell you how the whole thing started. So right there in the beginning of his verse, he addressed the whole Biggie thing, and people still tripping off the Jay and Nas beef, and that was fire. Kicking the door at the time when Kicking the Door came out, we thought it was about Pac, but it wasn't, and that was a classic track in itself.
Mm. Definitely. So when people thought Kicking Door was really about, they didn't really think it was about Way and Ghost when it came
Well,
out. Or
I thought it was about Pac. I mean, because like the when Hit 'Em Up came out, he never addressed the whole this song with Pac. You know what I'm saying? And we're looking at it like, Biggie got to come out with something, because you can't let, Pac come out and diss the whole East Coast and Bad Boy and Jay and Junior Mafia, and nobody responds. Mobb Deep was like, they responded with a drop of gem, and we was looking for that diss song from Biggie, and he never gave it to us. So I'm when they're playing Kicking the Door, remember, like, there were college radio stations. I was playing certain songs from the double album after he passed away. They play Kicking the Door. They basically played the whole side one of the album. Like, I didn't hear side two until it came out, but I heard everything on disc one. And when I'm hearing Kicking the Door, I'm thinking this is about Pac. You know what I'm saying? Not even, knowing about the whole William Ghost or Nas or J. Rule he had beef with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted to hear a diss record about Pac. Like, call that nigga name out the same way he called out your name, and called out your wife and said he fucked Faith Evans and all that, and we didn't get that. So, at the time when the album comes out, and I'm hearing songs like Kicking the Door and Long Kiss Goodnight and certain songs like that, I'm like, this shit is about Pac, but this is before the internet. We found out later that now him and Nas was going at it, and J. Rule had did a one day, and they had their little issue, and supposedly I think they squashed it before Biggie passed away. You know,
yeah,
so it
he
was
squad.
Boot Camp. Boot Camp had an issue with him too. You know what I'm saying? So he had all these different artists that had an issue with him. Ray and Ghost as well, and you know we didn't know what to think, and who he was talking about at that time.
Yeah, mind you, he also had issue with E40. No, 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 wait.
Right,
That was yeah. Biggie had issue with E40 too.
right,
Yeah, stuff like that. I think E40 had his goons scared come to Biggie. I think one time when Biggie came, I think to the West Coast or the Bay or some shit.
mhm,
I read in an interview with Ghost that him and Biggie did squash it before. I think it was either Ghost or Ray. They did squash it or they did talk before he passed away or some shit like that too. But of course, with it being hip hop and everything, they just left. They just like kept it subliminal and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, which I and that's the thing about like cats like Biggie and Jay Z, especially like those two, because they really were the ones who brought subliminal in hip hop. Because back in the day, if a motherfucker had an issue with somebody, like with Cube and No Vaseline, of course Pac would hit him up and everything. I'll even take it back to like South Bronx with Boogie Down Production. They called out the motherfuckers by their names or made fun of their songs, some shit like that. Motherfuckers, by the time the mid '90s happened, they just flipped it around and shit like that. Did more subliminals because they felt like the listeners were more smarter than we
right,
give them credit for and
right,
shit
right.
like that too. Because honestly, when it came to Kicking the Door, you know what I'm saying, I had to really decipher those lyrics. See, okay, this whose line was for and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because even in the beginning, that whole Kicking the Door intro, I'm gonna get to the list in a minute. When they did the Mad Rapper skit, I
Hmm.
had 4 albums, yada yada. That can be interpreted as a diss to Pac too,
Right.
and like that. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen people who said that shit.
Yeah,
Hell,
but call that nigga name out. The same way Pac was, any beef Pac had, he called a name out. Biggie didn't do that. He didn't do that
Biggie
with Pac.
he did call Pac's name out on plenty of occasions, but a lot of those songs was either unreleased
That's
or
what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah, but we don't want no unreleased. We wanted him to come at Pac the same way Pac came at him on Hit 'Em Up, and he
ain't
never did that.
hell, even Lil Kim, the original version of Big Mama thing, dissed the fuck out of Faith Evans and Pop. He was like, she was like, you got shot. The next time gotta keep your head up. I'm just like, yo, I'm a Pop fan, and I had to laugh at that line and some shit like that. But then Biggie, he said, redo that song, bring Jay Z in, and the one with Jay Z on the album was okay. I like that version, but the original version fit more hardcore, if that makes sense. But I don't know that the whole Bad Boy was they just moved
Yeah,
very funny.
Puffy stopped him. Puffy made him look like a punk. Like you got Pac going at you, and we waiting for the diss record, and it didn't drop. That's not on Big. That's on Puff.
But Puffy had no business when they had that Bad Boy mixtape. They were calling out Pac's name. He had no issue with that part, right? But if
Exactly.
any other artist did that, he's like, nah, we gotta rise
Exactly.
above it.
Right.
We gotta rise above
Exactly.
it. All that fucking
But like he had Mace go at Jay. Who's like one of his best
right,
friends.
right,
Explain that.
exactly,
You
exactly,
put him on you put both of those artists on the No Way Out tour. Explain that. You put Jay Z
exactly,
on Harlem World.
exactly,
But when it came to going at Pac, he was like, nah, we gonna take the high road. Nah. Fuck all that.
exactly. It don't make no fucking sense. But again, let's talk about Nas. I don't want to do a whole Tupac and Biggie situation here. Um, number 10, I gotta go with Ether. Speaking of diss tracks, wow, okay. So this is the famous song that was released on Jay Z's birthday. It always kills me how he dropped this on his birthday. It always kills me and everything. One of the greatest diss tracks of all time. You know what I'm saying? I've talked about this on the top diss tracks. Stillmatic review. I'm not gonna waste a lot of my time on this one, but this is definitely a fire track. You know what I'm saying? It's like he went through whole Jay Z's career, all the motherfuckers he was down with, and shit like that. Cause the whole Takeover versus Ether, both of them are great classic diss tracks. Takeover definitely was more personal and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just let motherfuckers know. I always loved how Jay did that shit on Takeover, but Ether was much more of like a Richard Pryor roast. It's much more like a Bernie Mac roast and shit like that. Now, y'all should know the original version, he had lines that was more vicious. Like he had a line where he said some shit like it should have been you that died instead of Aaliyah in that plane crash, or some
Right.
shit like that too. And the original version was actually, believe it or not, produced by Swiss Beats
Oh
and
God.
stuff like
Yeah,
yeah.
that wouldn't have been a hit.
But like the version that we know now was produced by
Ron Browse.
Ron Brow's Ether Boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and it's crazy because there was a story where I think Ras Kass he did an Art of Dialogue where they were talking about how Jay Z was at a club one time. Jay was at a club one time, and when he walked in the club, the DJ played Ether or some shit like that too. As soon as he walked in the club, and mind you, this was like the day it came out and stuff like that. For this song to come out the day of your birthday, that is like some next level savagery right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite diss tracks of all time and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Jay Z. Always love that. Tupac. Fuck friend sample and shit.
Mhm. Number 10, I got Thief's Theme from Street Disciple. Now,
Ooh,
originally, when this came out, this was produced by Salam Remy. I thought this was Alchemist. It sounded more like an Alchemist beat than
same.
Salam Remy. You know what I'm saying? But this was like was it the first? I think it was the first single or second single from Street Disciple, and
Yeah.
I loved it. Beat was hard. It was that grimy Nas that we wanted. And he said, yo, I'm hot like 95 Fahrenheit on a summer night, tight spot where bodies rot. Rats dripping water drops in the street, niggas, little kids scared cops with red dots. Loved the whole song was fire. The video was dope. Street Disciple, not a great double album, but it has some bangs like this on there. Definitely one of my favorites.
I'm actually surprised you put a Street Disciple song on your list though.
Yeah, because it has some bangers on there. This was always one of my favorites from Street Disciple.
Yeah, Street Disciple better than expecting and stuff. I always feel like that album was slightly underrated, if you ask me. Um Number 9, excuse me. Number 9 we got is Bye Baby. You know what I'm saying? From Life is Good. Fire track and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This was produced by Salam Remy. Salam Remy gets a lot of shit when it comes to this stuff with Nas.
Mhm.
Not all of it was stellar, but songs like this one, I'm just like, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Salam Remy did Get Down and made you either Get Down or Made You Look, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh.
Which motherfuckers love, but y'all motherfuckers so quick to say, "Oh, Nas picks bad beats." First of all, stop watching Vlad. I'm just gonna stop watching Vlad.
Exactly. Yep.
Anyway, of course, this was released at a time when he was divorcing Khalees and stuff like that. This whole album was like his "Hear My Dear," if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Um, they used a sample of "Guys Goodbye Love," which I fucking love that. So I think that was from their first album that came out
Mhm.
in 1988. Excuse me. And yeah, this was a very, very, very dope song. You know what I'm saying? Love the song, very heartfelt and shit like that too. So I gotta throw in that life is good representation here and shit. You know.
Yep. Number 9, I got also another Life Was Good song, Daughters, produced
That
by
was
No ID.
oh
Fire track. Love this song where Nas is talking about being a father with his oldest kid, Destiny, and at the time when she was a teenager, she was writing letters to a boy in jail. He's worried about her on social media. And he says, I saw my daughter send a letter to some boy her age who locked up. First, I regretted it, then caught my rage. Like, how could I not protect her from this awful phase? Never tried to hide who I was, who was taught and raised like a princess. But while I'm on stage, I can't leave her defenseless. Plus, she's seen me switching women, popular and some pimp chick. So that right there, being that he was with different women, she's seen all that as a young kid, and that it was a song for like all the fathers with daughters, with young daughters. And I love the fact that he did that. And it's a timeless track. Like a lot of fathers who have daughters, they can relate to that song. So it had a message in it, and beat was fire. There's a video for it as well. Classic track.
yeah, man. I definitely agree with you about that. Something it was something very different from like Nas too at that time and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Q. Eminem was actually supposed to have been on the remix of the song though. I think they were supposed to work on a remix for Daughters.
For daughters?
Yeah,
Oh wow, that would have been. I would have been definitely wanted to hear what Eminem had to say about his daughter.
yeah. Cause you know he always loves his Haley. Well, his children. Let me stop his children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, fuck it. Number 8 we are at is Sly Fox. You know what I'm saying? This is coming from the Untitled album, the Nigga album, and shit like that. I'm not gonna call it Nigga album and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like calling it the Untitled album. That's just me. So Sly Fox was a song that was aimed at Bill O'Reilly. To be real with you, and Bill O'Reilly at that time was pissing off every rapper and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking about Fox News because I think what happened was I think he was not supposed to perform at a school, but Bill O'Reilly did not felt like he was not the right appropriate rapper for that because a lot of his songs are quote unquote positive, but this is coming from somebody who was accused of sexual harassment. Never mind that, um, but yeah, Sly Fox definitely was dope. Love the fact that he's talking about the whole how Fox News was just poisoning people's minds and shit like that too. A lot of people want to say this album was not as good. I love this album. I don't give a fuck what no one say. This is actually the first Nas album I actually brought, believe it or not. So yeah, man, Sly Fox.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, number 8.
Yes, sir.
Got one mic from Stillmatic. Definitely a great vocal performance from Nas, and the beat was fire. I love like how it starts off with like really calm, then it picks up intensity, and he goes into like a frenetic type of tone with his lyrics, and I loved it. I love the pace of the song. This was definitely like a big hit off of Stillmatic from him. And he says, lyrics like, all I need is one mic, one beat, one stage, one nigga front, my face on the front page. Only if I had one gun, one girl, and one crib, one guy to show me how to do things. sSon did. Loved his rhyme pattern on here, and this is definitely a classic Nas joint.
Definitely. All right. Jesus Christ, y'all can leave me alone. All right. We at number 7. We got the message from It
Mhm.
Was Written. Um, very, very, very controversial track and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Classic track right there. You know what I'm saying? This was like technically like the first major song on It Was Written after the intro. Now, the first verse might be like the verse everyone always talks about when it comes to this track. And we all know why. Because apparently it was thought that he was throwing shots at it was thoughts that he was throwing shots at Tupac with that first, especially with that song Fake Thug and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? But that verse was actually aimed at Biggie. But it's interesting too because he explained how he was influenced by Jay-Z with this verse, especially with that line, Lex with TV sets, the minimum ill sex adrenaline, party with villains, the case of Demi Sack, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So we all know Pac and Nas had their issue and stuff like that too, but they squashed that shit. You know what I'm saying? But Mark Nash, what's good, bro? What's up? But yeah, man, I always loved this song, just the way how it started off and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It just like it comes straight from the gutter. It's just so gutter and everything like that too. And then even when they had this song playing in the beginning of it, "If I Ruled the World," like, and then he did that snap. There's only one life, one love. There can only be one king. I'm just like, come on, man, fire, fire, fire track.
But definitely. Um, Number 7 is Life's a Bitch with AZ. Now, to me, AZ stole the show with his verse, but I did like Nas's verse. Um, I woke up early on my born day. I'm 20. It's a blessing. The essence of adolescence. Leave my body now impression. Loved Nas's verse. Him and AZ complement each other well. They've done many, collabs together. The beat was fire. Classic sample that they used, and I wish they had did a video for this as well. Like the whole album is great. I wish this was a single, but a lot of people love AZ's verse, but I feel like Nas had a good verse as well.
Yeah, Nas definitely had a very dope verse
Yeah,
and everything. Now, would you say this is their best collaboration together?
it's the most memorable, I would think. I love the Essence from Asiatic. That was another
Yeah.
good one. I
Ooh.
loved what's the other joint? How You Living from that was on AZ's second album, Pieces of a Man. They got so many like dope joints together, but I feel like this is the most memorable because of AZ's verse and how he started it off, and I'm like, well, how come nobody talks about Nas's verse on here? It was just as good. Plus, he had Olu Dara. He had his father playing the saxophone on the track. You know,
Right.
I thought it was great.
To me, their best collab. I hear what you're saying. Their best collab to me is More Money, More Homicide from Do
I
or
forgot
Die.
about that one too. Yeah, that one
And
was dope too.
that is storytelling at its finest, right there, in my opinion.
And that's the one that they actually came out with as a single.
Yeah, which
Hmm.
I was surprised that was a single and shit, low key. I was very surprised.
Right.
I sent you a text by the way.
Huh?
Yes, I sent you a text by the way. But I guess that was just based on the creative control they had at that time too, because niggas want to always have that. Like Sugar Hill, I could see that as a single. Give me yours. But when More Money, More Homicide,
Right.
I'm just like, wow, okay.
Right. He was on Nas was on the chorus with "Give Me Yours," the original mix.
Ooh, just give me
I like the
yes.
Ella Sermon remix though. I like that one better.
I love that remix too.
Yeah.
Honestly, give me yours. Anytime I'm driving late at night and everything like that, that's just always a go to song. Like shit like that.
Hmm.
Just drive. downtown and stuff, especially when that bass line hits. Ooh,
hmm
I where we at? Where we at right now? We at
Number six.
number six. Number six for me is Second Childhood from Stillmatic and everything like that too. It's Stillmatic. This was actually at the time. At the time, it was actually the last Primo song that he did for Nas and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But this one was pretty dope. It's talking about motherfuckers who can't grow up and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just doing stupid decisions and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope song. I always love the fact that they use a Roberta Flack and Puma Bison sample. Rest in peace to Roberta Flack and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very, 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 very dope song. Even the beat from Primo was something very different from what he was used to do and some shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Very, very, very fire joint. The fuck?
Okay, number six is Nas is Like, produced by DJ Premier from I Am, the first single from I Am, classic, Primo right here. Love the beat, the video, and yo, he was just spitting balls on here. You got the cuts and scratches by Premier on the track, and Nas is saying, Nas is like Earth, Wind, and Fire, rims and tires, bulletproof glass inside is the realest driver. Planets in orbit, line them up with the stars, tarot cards, you can see the Pharaoh Nas. I love that. I love the way that he just inserted the Nas is like within the verse. And yeah, he killed it, man. Like that's definitely a big hit from I Am, and classic.
Definitely. Alright. Ironically, Nas is actually my number five joint and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Him and Primo. You know what I'm saying? That's just a match made in heaven and everything. You know what I'm saying? One thing I've always loved about the I Am album was like the right balance between like the complex lyricism of the first two albums, but at the same time, still continue on like the radio friendliness and everything like that too. Because that's actually a perfect example of a rap song that is not afraid to like still be abiding by its roots. At the same time, still can be appealing to like the mainstream crowd too, and
Mhm.
everything like that too. It's not overly complex, if that makes sense, you know. And
Right.
I've always felt like Nas was like the perfect blue. Nas was the perfect blueprint for that, and that's when the you kind of took the words out of my mouth with that song, but that's I just wanted to add that one to it, you know.
Yeah. Fire joint. Number five is we had number five, right?
Yeah,
Number five is One Love from Illmatic, produced by Q-Tip, and you got like Nas, one of his peoples is like locked up and he's like writing a letter to him, in the pen. And, he says, what up, kid? I know shit is rough doing your bid. When the cops came, you should have slid to my crib. Fuck it, black. No time for looking back. It's done. Plus, congratulations. I know you got a son. So he's talking about, his homeboy had a kid, and I think his woman was like cheating on him or whatever.
yeah,
And he had Q-Tip on the chorus, and it was melodic. It was dope. It had like that Tribe Called Quest sound to the beat, with the xylophone sounds on it, and I loved it, man. I thought it was a great track. Kind of sounds like a samba type of track, But yeah, like this was a great storytelling track, and there's a video for it, of course, and one of my favorites from Illmatic.
I'm not mad about that. Um, Number four is I Gave You Power. Oh my God, it was written returns again. mm, I think I have more. It was written songs in Illmatic. Let me double check. Hold on. No, actually, I have the same amount. Yeah, never mind. All right, so yeah, I Gave You Power. This is storytelling Nas at its finest and everything. Now we've all seen this concept in hip hop before. The let's take a gun from a perspective of a real person or a bullet. Cube did it with like Man's Best Friend. Organized Confusion, which I feel like they probably did that this concept the best with Straight Bullet. Tupac, or excuse me, Machiavelli did it with Me and My Girlfriend. But to me, I feel like Nas' I Gave You Power was probably for the culture the most influential and shit like that. Again, Primo returns and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And he gave Nas one of the most chilling instrumentals. Like I always feel like Primo was inspired by Havoc with this beat, in my opinion. I don't know what it was, but it was definitely had gave me Havoc tones and shit like that. Cause if you guys listen to a lot of Havoc shit from like 95, 96, 97, that whole wintry, grimy shit, like especially on Hell on Earth, a lot of motherfuckers was trying to do beats from Hell on Earth. And even like the Infamous too, like trying to get the hi hats, the snares, the 808s and everything like that to just the drum programming. Prime example, the Roots Philadelphia Half Life. If you just take the infamous drum breaks and bass lines and put it with the Roots and stuff like that, that's Philadelphia Half Life. But that's another story for a different day. I Gave You Power. I definitely love the fact that it's a gun being passed around and shit like that. How you seen it all. You remember when he first killed somebody with one of the bullets. I mean, it was so fucking complex. It's usually with the motherfucker if they do this shit, man, they won't really go as deep as fucking Nas or some shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So Pharaoh Monch may have done this concept the best, but I Gave You
Mhm.
Power for the culture. I gotta give it to this one.
Yes. Number four is Ether, one of the best diss tracks ever. To me, the diss track that annihilated Jay Z. I felt like Nas won that battle, and to think that he had so much more shit that he had to delete from the song. Like that whole thing with the Aaliyah plane crash would have been so savage, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he had love for Aaliyah. Aaliyah was also featured on I Am. So but the shit he was saying on this record. I remember when Hot 97 played it, and the whole city went nuts. It was that's the type of diss track we was waiting for Biggie, because I felt like Biggie could have did a Ether for Pac, and we never got that. And Nas let him have it. After the whole Summer Jam thing and the Prodigy ballet pictures and bringing out Michael Jackson, and Nas was like, "I'm killing this nigga," and he did just that on this record. Yeah, after a song like this, you don't need no rebuttal song. And Jay went back and he brought out that trash, super ugly. Nobody was paying attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Ether was like one shot. That's all he needed. And he demolished Jay, and it was epic. With lines like, "You a fan, a phony, a fake, a pussy, a stand. I still whoop your ass. You 36 in a karate class. You Tybo hoe, trying to work it out. You trying to get brolic. Asking me if I'm trying to kick knowledge. Nah, I'm trying to kick the shit you need to learn, though. That ether, that shit you make your soul burn slow. Classic." Everything he said on here was classic. If it was any other MC, their career would have been over. But somehow Jay survived this battle. But yeah, he not Nas won this battle.
And you know what's interesting? I just realized about that song. That was actually the first song that actually used stand, the stand concept as a negative aspect and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So if it really wasn't for Nas, motherfucker wouldn't be using stand like how these fan bases be
Well,
and shit
well,
like that too.
Eminem had the song stand. He talked about the obsessed fan.
Yeah, yeah, but at the same time too, you know how everyone uses that stand as like, oh, he's a
Mhm.
crazy fan and shit like that. That was really the first time in hip hop
I
that
heard it from Eminem first before Nas.
I get it. I'm saying Eminem did create it. Yeah. I'm not saying Nas created it, but I'm just saying he was influenced by Eminem and he
Hmm.
used that as like a diss to somebody. And you know how
Right.
niggas stand now as a diss and shit like that. Like when Cameron he did that whole stand spit freestyle diss and shit like that,
Hmm.
where he rapped over
Hmm.
the stand beat. which that was a very classic diss track. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh yeah.
Um, where the hell is Stan Spit at now? I don't know.
He wasn't gonna be no big artist though. Like when Cameron was
Uh,
playing, he was like wasting balls on him.
I'm sorry, but Cameron, man, Cameron always be having me laughing and shit like that. I'm just like this nigga, them Harlem niggas, man. I'm telling you, them Harlem niggas, man. I'm telling you. All right, we at number two right now. Okay, the world is yours.
Yeah, yeah, number three.
Okay, excuse me. Number three,
Number three. Yeah.
New York State of Mind. All right. I mean, when you hear that beat, that bing, ding, 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 anytime you hear that, you already know what time, what mode you about to be on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, this one was very dope, man. I mean, this is just pretty much. I think he actually did this song in one take, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think he actually wrote the song. I think Primo said in an interview he was trying to come up with the words to the song and some shit like that. And when he played the beat, he just Nas just took off and stuff. So I think this was pretty much top of the dome and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Classic hip hop track right here. You know what I'm saying? This just sets the whole tone for Illmatic, in my personal opinion. I mean, so many quotables. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. I mean,
Mm,
who the fuck thinks like that? You know what I'm saying? Even the part two of this song was very dope. I'll give a slight honorable mention of
mm,
my part two. Like I'll say that's like my number 16, if that makes sense. Fuck it. One thing I like about part two was the beat, how it added that ding ding ding, that piano, that
mm.
piano beat. I love the fact that they did that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is fire.
Number three is I Gave You Power, another Primo classic, great storytelling from Nas where he's talking about being a gun and just the type of wordplay he used for describing a weapon, him being a weapon was just dope. And another song I felt like should have been a single. I could have definitely seen a video for this with him as an actual gun. Like the special effects for that would have been crazy, you know. It's definitely a visual track, and when you have Nas saying stuff like, I was made to kill, that's why they keep me concealed under car seats, they sneak me in clubs, been in the hands of mad thugs, they feel me when they load me with mad slugs. Loved it, man. Like just a visual track, and to me is one of his best primo collabs. You know what I'm saying? Like top three for me. Like it's that good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Um, Number two is The World Is Yours. Um, very, very. I think this was actually one of the first songs from Nas that really made me become a fan. But this version and the Q-Tip remix of this song and everything was fire. I think the Q-Tip remix, I'll probably give that a slight nod over the OG and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just braggadocio Nas at his finest and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Taking the Scarface line, the world is yours, applying it to him and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those songs I play and I say to myself, I really wish Nas and Pete Rock would have done some more shit together, in my opinion, and shit like that too, because the chemistry between those two was immaculate. And I know Pete Rock was originally supposed to have been on It Was Written too, because not a lot of people know. I think it was supposed to have Pete Rock, Marley Marl, and stuff like that too. Because originally Nas wanted to make a more street record, but Steve Stout,
Mm,
who became his manager, was like, "Nah, chase the bag," and the rest is history and shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, and we all know Pete Rock and Nas had an issue, but that's another story for a different day too. But yeah, the Q-Tip remix of "The World Is Yours," man. Oh my God, where do I even begin with that remix and shit? You know what I'm saying? And I really wish that when they would have re-released that album for the 10th anniversary, they would have put that there because I think two versions of it. I got the OG on vinyl, and I got the 10th anniversary and shit like that too. But
mm.
yeah, but yeah, this was very dope. I love this record.
Number two is the same track. Whose world is this? The world is
Oh,
yours. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Classic. I love the pianos on that. It sounded to me more like a reflective track and what Nas has been through growing up in Queensbridge and where he wanted to go in life, and I love it. It was like literally he had like two New York anthems on the same album,
right.
and this is definitely an anthem for the city, and just taking that reference from the classic Scarface film, and I loved it, man. Like I would love to hear a Nas and Pete Rock album even now. I feel like they can do it now, and it would be a great album. Because we saw what Pete did with Common, we saw what he's done with Smith and Wesson, and with Smoke Dizza and so many other artists that he has like great albums with. I feel like we can still get a Nas and Pete Rock album. You know what I'm saying? And if there's any album after Primo, I think he should do. I mean, everybody wants a Nas and AZ. I don't know. We've been waiting for that forever too. But if there's any other producer, I feel like him and Pete definitely can give us a instant classic.
Yeah, I mean, you're not lying about that, definitely. All right. And my number one is going to be One Mic from Stillmatic. If there was one song from Nas, I can honestly say is pretty much the definition of his style, the definition of his character is One Mic and everything. And I feel like this is the album, this is a song which came from Stillmatic that really solidified his comeback and everything. Because everyone will say Nostradamus was not good and everything like that too. Jay Z was killing them, but this is the song that really made people say, "Okay, Nas is here to stay," and everything. And just the emotion from this track, how the beat pretty much fat speeds up the tempo, and then it just has that halt, and it just goes back to like the softer tones in the intro. I mean, this whole fucking track right here is just one of my favorite hip hop tracks of all time, and it's a hip hop classic, bar none.
Number one is New York State of Mind. Come on, that is the anthem. When you think of gritty boom bap street record, it's New York State of Mind. Primo all day. That's the type of sound I'm hoping he gives Nas for this album coming out. We need that gritty, nasty Nas Escobar. I know he still has it. You give us 14 tracks, and it has that gritty sound, that gritty boom bap that we know Primo can give us. That's gonna be a classic album. Might be the best album of the year. You know what I'm saying? But I need to hear it from Primo. The Rock Marcy album was good, but I feel like Primo could do better than that. And I feel like this is an album, might be the most anticipated album of the last 30 years in hip hop. That
Right.
people are waiting for. You got to deliver. If he doesn't deliver, I feel like there should be no more talk about using Primo as for an album. I'm like, because if you can't deliver for Nas, you know what I'm saying, and this is an album that people have been waiting for. I feel like you got to give us what the fans want, and he definitely gave us what we wanted on this track. That's why it's such a classic. Just the things that Nas was saying on here, and the beat, the jazz sample that he used, and phenomenal record. You know what I'm saying? It's only right that I was born to use mics, and the stuff that I write is even tougher than dikes. Come on, at so young, and he was writing shit like this. You know what I mean? And it was definitely I love it, man. I feel like it's the best Nas song ever. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And that's the Primo I want to hear. Like, give us 15, 16 tracks of that with Nas, instant classic. None of this avant-garde shit. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I feel like some of these producers, they try and different shit, but it's like out of their lane. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how Swiss Beats fell off. He wasn't delivering the shit that people loved when he was doing the Rough Rider stuff and DMX and all that. And He shifted his sound and started doing more, avant-garde shit with his beats and his music. And I don't even look at him as one of the best anymore. Same with RZA. RZA, after he stopped doing the gritty shit with Wu Tang and he started doing the live instruments, and then he went Hollywood and you scoring stuff with Quentin Tarantino, he fell off. I don't want to see that happen to Primo. I feel like Primo still got it, but we need to hear it. It's been a long time since we could say like we loved a Primo album that he fully produced that was good. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't heard it. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time, and I feel like for Nas, you got to give him your best shit. Even if you got to go in your vault and pull out 92, 93 Gangstar unreleased beats. If you got to do that, then do that. But you got to deliver on this album, because if that album is not close to what people want, I'm saying it. I don't give a fuck how great he is. If the album is whack, I'm gonna say it's whack. Simple as that. Okay, he must deliver on this album. Simple as that. If he doesn't, it's gonna be one of the worst disappointments of the year. I'm telling you. You don't want to you don't want to end up having an album that we all wanted for 30 years not be good, and then we got to say at the end of the year, oh, what was the best album of the year? Eclipse or Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? So he's under that pressure. He got to deliver. If he's the goat, show us you the goat and give us that Nas album that we all wanted.
I definitely hear what you're saying about that. But I don't know if people would like discredit Primo and shit like that.
Not discredit him, but it would be a disappointment if it's less than what we wanted.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? He's still a Hall of Famer, but it would be a huge disappointment if that Nas album come out and nobody likes it, or the beats are like very mid.
I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying. But this is actually a dope list and shit. Oh yeah, I forgot Raekwon had a good album too. That's a good album and shit too. But
What's that?
yeah, that joint he dropped, that Raekwon album he dropped. Hold on, what's the name of that shit?
Yeah, Raekwon album was fire. The Emperor's New Clothes.
Emperor's New Clothes. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. That was dope. You know, yeah, Primo got to deliver.
definitely. Alrighty. So do you have any honorable mentions before we go on to this whole Rashad Smith interview?
Means a lot. We're Not Alone from Untitled, when he talked about the UFO conspiracy, the government cover up, and how he said he saw a UFO in California or some shit. Him and Horse. You know, that was dope. Second Childhood from Stillmatic, another Primo joint. Love that joint, and he's talking about the different scenarios with different people, and there's one chick that she's acting young and she's talking loud in the streets at night, and the dude that won't grow up, and that was a great record. Hate Me Now, or he was real, you know, braggadocio on that record. You know what I'm saying? It was, even with the Hot Rooms video, you got the red leather on, you got the explosions in the back. You know, that was a dope record. Even the whole video controversy with Steve Stout and all that, and I like that one. It's so many records. And even from Distant Relatives, you know, Namin with him and Damian Marley, that was fire. We Will Survive from I Am, another record I loved. We talked about losing Big and Pac, and how it affected hip hop, and so there's so many. He got so many joints up. You know what I'm saying? But those are like some of the best ones that I love.
Definitely. I got a few Nas honorable mentions. I would say Escobar '97. That was a pretty
Men in
good
Black. That's the Men in Black soundtrack.
Men in Black. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, If I Ruled the World with Lauryn Hill, which I really wanted to put that on my list. I really did, but I didn't want to just put like singles and shit like that. I actually want to go deep into the
Hmm.
discography. Um, I would definitely put this Destroy and Rebuild, the other diss track on Stillmatic, where he just killed the whole Queensbridge from Prodigy to Nari to Nature. Um, I'm gonna have to go with Death Row East. That was a pretty good one. And I'm not just saying that because I just saw Q's comment. That's literally on my honorable mention. Um, Can't Forget About You from Hip Hop Is Dead. That was a great one. And one more honorable mention. Papa Was a Player from the Lost Tapes.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah. All right. So before I head out and everything, just to let you know, I'm still using the EV Mux because StreamYard has been tripping and stuff like that too. So they put me on a limit, so I'm using the free plan. But the Rashad Smith came out with an interview last week. And a lot of shit was said in this interview that I'm not gonna say it was shocking to me, but very interesting. And one of the things that I do want to talk is the whole situation between Biggie and LL Cool J over that "Doing It" song and everything like that too, because it's been known how that song was originally for Biggie and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know
right.
the whole true
Yeah.
story.
Supposedly, I heard it was supposed to be for Biggie and Kim.
Yeah,
Like Kim was gonna do LaShawn's part.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was pretty much his Biggie's idea to do the whole "Go Brooklyn" chant, "Go Brooklyn" and stuff
Hmm.
like that too. But I see both parts or why. Like I see both Rashad Smith and Biggie because Rashad in the interview he said that they were taking too long to come up with the money for the beat, and LL Cool J while he was getting ready for that Mr. Smith album and everything like that too. He heard the song and everything like that too, and he definitely flipped. He flipped it and shit. And if I'm not, I think "Doing It" was LL Cool J's best selling song. Let me look that up. Hold on.
Was it?
Let me double check. I could be wrong. And it's fun when I'm doing that. It's crazy because Biggie was talking about how he told Rashad Smith to get out of Brooklyn and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it was one of his best selling songs, but it wasn't his main song. But yeah, man. Also, how Trackmaster did that shit with the Trackmaster shit, how they were stealing people's credits,
Right.
stuff like that too. But I think the thing that really, but a lot of people know was that the whole "Don't Sweat the Technique," how he pretty much produced most of the album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Which is funny too because I was talking to somebody about that album, and the sound of that album is just very different. I mean, all the songs on Eric B and Rakim's albums are very different, but this one definitely had like a more contemporary sound compared to like the first three. And I've heard many people also say that Large Professor did songs like Keep the Beat, either Keep the Beat or Relax with Pep, one of them songs and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know about the whole Eric B and Rakim situation, you know that when it comes to like the producers, that's always a controversial aspect because some producers like Marley Marl have claimed that they never got credit because Eric B was sidelighting niggas and shit like that too. But what are your takeaways from that whole Rashad Smith interview?
I I think a lot of shit I didn't know that happened with them because like the whole thing with one more chance remix, I remember buying it and hearing people say Trackmaster did it. And he's saying the Trackmaster didn't do that. I did that beat, which is why Puffy gave him the credit. You know what I'm saying? And then he did the second remix for One More Chance that's on the single. You know, what I didn't know about was like the track masters, like, well, I mean, according to him, the track masters was like taking credit for things that they never produced. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I rule the world, it says track masters, but they never did that. It was actually him. You
Right.
know, um, the Jodeci stuff, the Uptown MCA stuff. You know, he did like a lot of the Jodeci remixes and never got the credit. You know,
Jesus Christ.
the whole thing with LL, and I could understand where he's coming from because he needed the money. He said he blew through a lot of his money. He was younger. When you get that type of amount of cash, you're gonna blow through it. and he needed the money. And Biggie was taking his time. He was slow.
Right.
And Steve Stout heard the beat. He was like, "Yo, I'll pay you up front." And then they doubled his the pay, gave it to LL, and he did some other stuff on Mr. Smith as well. And it was a big hit for LL off of that album. And he kept the Brooklyn part in there. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't take it out. He kept the Brooklyn part in there, and LL just had to create the hook around the Brooklyn part. You know what I'm saying? Just the tactics that Biggie did, like stalking him, and him and D-Rock is like stalking him and his wife, and can't do that. I'm saying that's how bad karma starts. You know what I'm saying? And
That's that puffy shit.
yeah, he was in fear of his life because Biggie threatened him, and he didn't speak to him again after that. And I'm like, yo, this man gave you might be the best hip hop remix ever. That you're gonna really stalk him and try to harm him and his wife. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's gonna be people that's gonna defend what Biggie did, but Biggie was wrong for doing that.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I'm saying? And this man has created a lot of classics. Gave Busta Rhymes one of his biggest hits with Wuha off of the Coming. That was a huge hit when that came out in '96. You know, so many other joints that he's done for people, and he said like a lot of the underground heads gave him a side eye because he was doing shit for Bad Boy and doing stuff for a lot of the mainstream artists, but he's a producer at the end of the day.
Exactly.
There's many underground producers right now that we could make a whole list out of, and they came from the underground and they did shit for mainstream artists. Buck Wild for one did a lot of underground shit for OC and for the Funk Dubious and many others, and he did shit for Bad Boy.
Hell,
You know
full
what I'm saying?
force.
I ain't never hear nobody gave him a side eye for anything.
Hell, full force did shit for Britney Spears and NSYNC and shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Easy LP, same with him. Easy Mo B, same with him. Like he's a producer at the end of the day. It's about selling the beat. Whoever, shit. Primo. How many mainstream artists did Primo do shit for? I just saw the remix the other day that he did for Miley Cyrus. Okay, and,
Miley
and
Cyrus.
yes, he has a remix for Miley Cyrus.
Really?
Okay, he's done shit for Sam Smith. He's done shit for 21 Pilots. He's done shit for Brandy.
Christina Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera. Right, Back to Basics. That album anniversary was what, last week? You know what I'm saying? So
Favorite album she came
again,
out.
like I never see Primo get any hate for the artist he worked with. He's a producer. He's gonna sell the beat to whoever. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it was, and I definitely believe what he's saying about Puffy not giving taking credit, because that's what Puffy do. He's done this many times. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those Jodeci remixes you hear from like the first album, that was Rashad Smith. That wasn't Puff or Stevie J or whoever. You know.
Exactly.
I loved it. I thought it was a great interview that they gave, and just it's about time he take back his credit for shit he didn't get credit for back then.
Yeah, that was. I actually paid attention to a lot more of his discography too and shit. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. We know his discography. He did a lot of well known stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Ghostface got a song with Lana Love, artists being artists, especially if you're nice of what you do. Exactly. That's exactly. Hey, yo, give me one second. I gotta check something downstairs, right? Give me one
Yeah,
second. Jesus.
yeah. He was stalking him. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like Biggie was gonna really do anything for him. He was just like trying to scare him. But yeah, Rashad Smith is a legend. I never heard that. I mean, maybe I never heard about the Emo B. Pete Rock didn't even get paid for Juicy. He did the beat and Puffy took the credit. He never got paid for that beat. No, I didn't hear about that. Me Against the World. What happened with Me Against the World and Thug Life? Definitely. The thing with Biggie and LL, I think it goes deeper than that. With LL took the Doing It beat. LL was originally supposed to be on the Who Shot You track, and for some reason his vocals were taken off. I think Biggie had something to do with that. Um, even with the song "I Shot You," I always felt like that was a response to Biggs, and people back then were saying no, it wasn't about Biggie, but the title sounds similar. I mean, it's like an answer title to when you have Big come out with "Who Shot You" the same year as "I Shot You." I mean, put two and two together. Well, I mean, if that's true, Biggie was just late on getting beats on these people. Then I mean, he was mad at LL. He was mad. He was mad at Rashad Smith. He was mad at that Moby gave the beats to Pac. You got to be on it when you want these beats, and he just was late.
Okay, I'm back. What y'all talking about?
I'm talking about. I think there was more to it than just. Remember when LL Cool J vocals he actually recorded for Who Shot You, and he was
Yeah,
taking over that song.
he did.
So Biggie might have made that call. That might have been Biggie's call to take him off of that song and go at him without saying his name. And then you have I Shot You that comes out later on.
I swear to God, bro. So you mean to tell me all this time Biggie was coming after LL when niggas thought that he was coming after
That was
Pop?
about Pop. Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right. But
Jesus
we,
Christ.
we, we actually heard what was his name? It was a Ron Amon Lawrence that did the beat.
Yeah.
He talked to Angie Martinez last year. But remember when we did that whole life after death series that she covered like the whole album and bought in. I don't know why Fat Joe was there because he wasn't on the album. You know what I'm saying? But she
Fat
bought
Joe.
in. Huh?
Fat Joe is the hip hop
Fat
purist.
Joe was there to lie his ass off and talk about, oh yeah, me and Biggie was doing the album together. No, you wasn't. No, you was not doing the album together. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can't even write a song, nigga. Come on,
Right.
bro.
But when Ron was there, Ron talked about when he did the Who Shot You beat, LL was on that record and his vocals were taken off later. So and Biggie recorded his that song when LL was in the studio. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put two and two together. Who Shot You? 95. LL comes out with I Shot You, 95. Mr. Smith comes out in 95. You know what I'm saying? So I always felt like that song was going at big. And people were saying back then it wasn't about Biggie, but when you got similar titles and there was actually some beef going on between them, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out what was going on.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I felt like there was some subliminals being thrown back and forth.
And then that
And Biggie was mad that the Doing It beat went to LL, and LL made a huge record out of that.
it's funny because LL be acting like him and Biggie were close friends and some shit sometimes and shit. Some of these
I
interviews.
don't know. I mean, they were both on this on the Flavor in Your Ear remix, but I mean, who we don't know if they got along on the video set.
Cause mind you, LL was supposed to sign to Bad Boy Records. Y'all forget that
Why didn't he?
because he didn't like the the deal Puffy gave him and shit.
Exactly. So he stayed with Def Jam.
And Def Jam. Speaking of Def Jam, him and Def Jam softened their feud because you gotta remember after that 14 Shots to the Dome album, he had an issue with like Russell and Def Jam. He did a
Hmm.
song called "Fuck Def Jam," which was like a street single back on
Hmm.
394. But and also too, speaking of 14 Shots to the Dome, he also blamed Kidada J, Quincy Jones' daughter, because he felt like she placed a curse on him because he played an album for her. This is the story I heard. He played an album for her. She said it was a bit too negative, and I think she did. LL claimed he's in with some witchcraft, some shit. That's why it went. I have to send you the interview. It sounds kind of far fetched though, but I have to send you the interview.
Fat Joe's a liar. There was never no Biggie and Fat Joe album coming out.
Even DJ Un said that shit too.
There was never no. We even back then we never heard of no Fat Joe and Biggie album. They don't even have a damn song together. So what? Where was this album coming from? On what label? Was it Bad Boy? Was it? It wasn't gonna be Relativity.
Hell no.
They wasn't putting that out. So what label was they planning on doing this album?
Especially with that push Bad Boy has. Hell no. And Relativity was
Right.
still an underground indie.
Exactly. And Fat Joe didn't have no record label at that time. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't even no Terror Squad at that time. So where was it coming out on?
Fucking
A
liar,
mixtape?
man. The closest we would ever have a Biggie and Fat Joe collab is Lord Finesse producing for Biggie
Him,
and
him having hits doesn't mean he ain't a liar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he got hits, but he's a liar. That album was never coming out.
he's a fat liar. But he did say something I do agree with him recently about the whole BET Awards. He said that gentrification ruined a lot of the BET Awards. And that's why a lot of people don't care about black award shows like that because they're trying to appeal to everybody. I do agree with him on that thing.
Big Pun, not Big Pun. Big Heavy D was around Biggie, and they actually did a posse joint together.
Who's in
You
the
know what I'm
house?
saying? So you know, I don't buy what Fat Joe say. He lies about a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, John LL was jealous of. I heard he was jealous of. Well, he was jealous of anybody that came to Def Jam Records. Let's keep it a buck.
But what?
Because he always felt like
But what?
he had to protect his throne.
But when you're dropping crap like Walking with a Panther, what you expect? Warren G had to save the
Hey,
company.
hey.
That album did not sell. That did not save Def Jam.
Walking with the Panther went double platinum, multi
Trash,
platinum.
trash. That album was not saving Def Jam. Warren G came in and saved Def Jam with his first album, a West Coast classic.
I think he also had the issue with J.O. Felony too, from what I heard.
Well, if the album was discussed, how come it never happened? Did
He said,
did Puffy not believe in Fat Joe? Because it wasn't Biggie. Anything Biggie was on was going platinum. He did a song with the Brat off of the Bad Boy soundtrack, and you know what happened? They were supposed to do an album together because Jermaine Dupri confirmed it.
Biggie was supposed to do an album with everybody at this point.
You know what I'm saying? I can't say the same about Fat Joe. I know for sure it was gonna be Biggie and the Brat and Jermaine Dupri was gonna produce that.
Biggie was going to do an album with Michael Jackson.
I'm just saying. Unless motherfuckers are actually confirming it, I'm not believing anything Fat Joe got to say about that.
Yeah. What's next? What's next? Big Pun and Biggie was supposed to have done a song together.
Yeah. Yeah, we were supposed to have an album called Three Amigos with Fat Joe, Nori, and Pun. That never happened.
No, call the Fat Amigos, the Big Amigos, the Heavy Amigos. Don't
You
call it
know,
that shit.
I ain't going by what Fat Joe say.
Uh, I'm gonna stay on for like another 10 minutes because I gotta call my mom before she goes to bed. I don't know. Have you watched some of that Fat Joe and Jada Kiss podcast? To be real with you,
Huh?
do you check out their podcast? That he does
No,
with Jada?
no. Because Fat Joe lies and Jadakiss don't seem interested.
Everyone's doing it.
It's
I
like
gotta watch Cameron Mason's podcast. I'm gonna be real with you.
he just doing it just to do it.
Not everybody deserves a podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
that part.
Not a living single podcast with Erica Alexander and Kim Coles. That's my shit. I like that shit. But now it's like everyone's doing podcasts now and shit like that. What's next? So Suge Knight is gonna do a podcast from prison now. Him and Puffy.
Uh,
Hell no. Fat Joe's not the third base MC from the Bronx. Hell no. Hell
he must be
no.
young. He must be a youngin.
I
Third
respect
best.
your opinion. Nah.
We ain't gonna suddenly act like Diamond D don't exist and Lord Finesse don't exist. To
Karis.
that, come on now,
Hell, Diamond and Lord wrote for Fat Joe.
crazy. Big Pun wrote for Fat Joe. He not even writing his own damn lyrics no more.
Honestly, Don Cartagena is a Big Pun album, unofficially. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. I know. It's gonna end in 30 minutes. I know. Shut up. If StreamYard would get his act right, I would do my video on StreamYard and shit, man. Shit.
What do you like, Fat Joe's cousin or something? Like, come on, man, stop the bullshit. Third best MC from the BX, really?
That's the most love I've ever heard someone give Fat Joe, low
Yeah,
key.
you giving him a whole lot of love. You must be part of Terror Squad. You got a chain?
Is that Tony Sunshine?
Lord, he ain't better than Lord Finesse.
Hell no.
He ain't better than KRS One. And I've seen these people live.
Karis One is the best from the Bronx. Let's keep it a buck. Man. But I get your opinion though, but that's the most love I've ever heard someone give Fat Joe.
You giving him way too much love. He was good at one point. I think he fell off a long time ago. His catalog is shit. We actually did a discussion on this whole catalog. His catalog is not good after the 2000s. You know, was it Royalty? That Royalty album, Loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, after Loyalty, his catalog went down. You know, including that second Terror Squad album. That shit was garbage.
I don't even consider that shit, to be real with you.
You know, it was basically him and Remy on half of those songs.
Who else doing anything in 2016?
Come on.
What the
Have you
fuck?
heard of somebody named Kendrick Lamar? Are you serious? J. Cole? They have better
Joey
discographies than him.
I think Joey Badass came out with an All American
Joey
Badass.
Badass about to drop a new album.
Like what?
Come on, man. He was born yesterday? Only on this channel do we get these fugazi ass hip hop heads. That shit never happens on my shit.
Nigga, you got some fugazi shit.
Never. Never.
You got some
Never.
fugazi shit. Come on, stop
Nope.
lying. Stop lying.
Nope.
Nah, nigga. You had some.
The real heads be on my channel. Right? On your channel, you get all these people that were born yesterday and they want to debate with us about shit.
Don't act like you ain't got no fugazi units here.
Nope. Nope. The only person that shows up on a regular basis on my shit is Sam. That's it. He's the only one.
Hey, man. I've seen people come up to your channel say some crazy shit.
Never, because you know I would block them in a minute. It wouldn't be no back and forth like this.
But I like the back and forth low key though.
No, I don't care for it. Especially if you wasn't around back then in '93 to tell me what the best shit Fat Joe ever had.
I gotta send you a text.
Lean Back and Smash, but it was on a shitty album. That Terror Squad shit was garbage. You know, there's an artist down south by the name of Currency who's been dropping shit consistently since 2016. Where you been?
Oh shit. By the way, check the group me about something. That's what I'm gonna say.
They were showing up on major features. So what? A lot of other people have been on major features. Benny been on major features. Conway.
I mean, most of them features are DJ Khaled songs. Let's keep it a buck. This is the most love I've seen somebody give Fat Joe, man. Like,
He must be paying you. He gotta be paying you off. He paying you off. Let's show Fat Joe some love tonight.
Oh shit, I love it. I love it. I'm gonna stay on for 5 more minutes. I don't want my mom blowing up my phone. Who else was making waves from me, Bronx, at that time? What the fuck? I mean, Cardi isn't Cardi from the Bronx too, if I'm not
thought she was
mistaken.
from Harlem. Is she from
Oh,
Harlem?
one of them motherfuckers.
Well,
Okay.
she making noise now with that new single.
I don't give a fuck what no one says. She did. She knew the assignment with that song. I don't give a fuck.
We named cats on the BX that wasn't doing shit.
Why use
You know, Diamond D is still putting out albums, right? It's not like he just disappeared.
He put out a dope ass album. I think like last year, or the year before last.
You know,
Hell, Cuban. This might be a stretch, but Cuban Links rhymes better than Fat Joe. I'm sorry.
uh,
That might be a stretch. I don't give a fuck.
I think he does rap better than him.
Like Fat Joe was like the Uncle Luke of his time and shit.
It's making waves like really bad.
I'm tired of Lean Back. I'm so tired of that song.
Are they making waves? I don't know. Well, you actually you tell me. Have you seen the like Cardi B? You tell me she making waves.
Shit.
What's the last big hit Fat Joe had? All the way up. How long ago was that?
I thought it was something else after that song. I could be wrong.
What was after all the way up?
Let me look it up. Hold on.
He put out singles. I'm talking about a big hit. What's the last one that he had after all the way up?
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. Sawface made people. Sawface is dope. I like this shit.
Face made people rapping. Oh, okay, if you say so.
He didn't have a lot of hits after All the Way Up. Damn, shit. That was the last song that he actually had that made an impact on the charts.
Was what was
Wow.
what was the song?
All the Way Up. Like,
Exactly. How long ago was that? Like 9 years ago.
he's still banking off that shit too. Actually, Jay does have hits. If you want to count guest
What
appearances and
who was this
shit.
dude? Yeah, he was definitely born yesterday. I could see.
He had more hits on the charts than Fat Joe as of 2016. That's the power of Sean
Jay,
Carter.
Jay don't need to. Jay is in retirement mode. He don't need to come out. He has many hits.
Well, I mean, if he still wants to rap, let him rap, man. I
Dude,
have a feeling. I have a feeling this next J album gonna be a banger. I have a feeling.
you're going off for hit records. There's a lot of artists that have hit records that's not no longer. When was the last time Fabulous had a hit record? Let's talk about that. I'll wait.
What is
You're going off for artists that had hit records.
you and this dislike for Fabulous always listen.
Hey, I'm just saying. I gotta think he's overrated. But
I don't even
let's
like
talk
it.
about when the last time Fabulous had a hit record. God knows when.
Mm,
We're going off for. I guess that's all hip hop is now. We're going off for hit records. It ain't all about hit records.
exactly. First of all, shout out to Uncle Freeze, man. He's actually on live right now and shit.
If we talking about active, Nas is more active than Fat Joe right now. He put out 6 phenomenal albums with Hit Boy. 6. Can Fat Joe do that consistently? I don't think he can. He could damn sure put out 3 bad albums consecutively because he's done it already. He's going off catalog. His catalog is crap. Rick Ross have a better catalog than him.
I'm
Easily.
not mad.
Easily.
Yes.
P.I. got a better catalog than him. Easily. And they from the South.
Rick Ross ain't even got that much bad albums. Let's keep it a buck.
Exactly. Well, Fat Joe do. Fat Joe do.
But yeah, man, I'm actually about to end this off right here.
I'll give you new artists. Griselda got a whole better catalog than Fat Joe. West Side Gun, Conway, and Benny. Take your pick.
You including mixtapes too, right?
Everything better than
Okay.
Fat Joe shit. Rock
Uh,
Marcy better than Fat Joe shit.
Yo, Rock is that dude though.
Shit. We talking artists from this era. Mac Miller, rest in peace. His whole catalog is better than Fat Joe.
Hell, Earth Gang.
I don't listen to them, but I mean, if you say so, then that's what it is. Fat
Because
Joe discography is not great, bro. He got three great albums, and that's it. Everything else is trash. Again,
right,
you're going off of Smash Records. It ain't about Smash Records. A lot of artists got Smash Records, and they're not legends.
that's true.
Memphis Bleak got a Smash record. It's called "Is That Your Bitch." Is he a legend?
I thought
I
you
don't
were gonna.
think so.
I thought you were gonna say my mind right. I'm saying this guy must be Fat Joe's biggest fan and shit.
The Fat Joe's Butler. You just happen to find the channel that we talking about somebody else other than Fat Joe.
This is a Nas video. It's a Nas video, man. Niggas want to talk about Fat Joe. Fuck
Bro,
it.
Hammer got big hit records. He ain't on nobody's top 10 list of all time. Don't kid yourself. It ain't all
Hell,
about hit records.
Hell, Too Short got a better discography than Fat Joe.
You know what I'm saying? You going by hits. It ain't about hit records.
sSon, Nas is in my top five. Finally, something about Nas. But I understand why dudes who grew up in the 2000s don't revert him. Well, that's because they have short attentive span. Let's keep it a buck. They rather listen to all these stupid ass motherfuckers like Thugger and Gunna and all these
The
trash niggas.
game gets similar hate. The game have a better discography than Fat Joe. We don't hate him.
Oh, I'm not mad, son. I'm not mad. I'm just sometimes I just get surprised. This is what we do here. This was just what we do here
I
and
don't know what
shit.
you're adding to. You're adding to your stupidity. That's all you're adding to. No, you mentioned in the game. The game have nothing to do with this. The game is a way better artist than Fat Joe.
Mm.
I agree. I feel like Nas had some bad albums after Godson. I've been saying that. I wasn't a fan of Untitled. Don't like Hip Hop is Dead. Three Disciple wasn't a great double album. We
Okay.
all know that Nasir album was trash. Him and Kanye.
We don't mention that shit. All right, but I'm gonna end this off right here. I gotta get me something to eat. I'm hungry. But this has been a fun ass video and shit like that. I'm actually gonna film the Lunis request review. I'm gonna film that, drop that sometime this week, and everything like that too. So be on the lookout for that. He said Joe got more than everybody.
You don't
Hold
get
on.
it.
Joe got more than everybody for Bronx except Karis. I don't know.
You don't get it.
Um, Definitely got some more dope shit coming up. Get some more live content coming up and everything like that too. And everything like actually, you know what? I might make my reviews live this week. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Cats let off the field stuff. Imp.
What
Cat.
off the field story you talking about? He just don't have a great discography. It ain't about what he's. I don't watch his podcast. I could care less. I'm talking about his discography. It's not great.
Hmm.
He has three great albums. That's it. Anything after Don Carter Jr. was trash.
Yeah, man. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Going live on Wednesday, 8 p.m. with Rocka. Uncle will be there, of course, and Ray Lansky. We'll talk about the new Cardi B song, which we sample Imaginary Player, and some other stuff.
You said Wednesday at 8.
Yes, regular time.
I'm gonna jump on that one. I'm off on it. I'm off Wednesday. Yeah, I
Y'all,
just
y'all worried about the off the field shit. This is the problem with hip hop now. Y'all worried about what these artists do in their personal life. But anybody, we talking about music. His music is not great.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if I'll come exactly at 8 because I know how y'all go on for 4 hours. I'm gonna
Now
see what
we
I'm doing.
we we gonna try to cut it down to 3 hours this week.
3 hours? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I should be back home. I should be back home that time. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. One more thing I gotta say. I think one more thing I gotta say. Also, y'all make sure y'all keep subscribing and liking this video. Once I get them 2K subscribers, I'm finally gonna drop the 2K video. Some stuff I recorded this 5 months ago and shit. So yeah, be on the lookout. But y'all gotta get them subscribers up. Subscribe to That Ain't Right podcast and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And thank y'all so much for watching. Be on the lookout for some more top songs and stuff like that too. I got one out in the works right now, but I want to run it by Try first. But
You're
y'all,
not winging sales, but you're talking about hit records. That doesn't make sense because the hit records go into the sales. I'm talking about music. He has 3 good albums. That's it. He ain't got nothing else better after Don't Cut Agenda.
yeah, man. But other than that, hope everyone has a good day. Peace.